All right. Should have cleared my throat before I hit the unmute button. Sorry about that. Let me stop the spinner thing there. Maybe. Always anybody's guess whether that's going to stop running. Anyway, so good evening. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Good to see you, Luke and Paul and Craig and Jeff. Thank you for coming by and hanging out for a while. Thank you, Paul. So, real quick, we'll go through what's in the jam. I'll turn some of it back. I guess I should stop the sequence, like so, and talk a little bit about what is in the jam. Some of these things seem to be insisting that they want to keep running, but that's okay. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's see. My favorite piano is in tonight, coming off the wave state. And this is a factory patch. It's called Iceland Piano Pad. And I really like the little follow-on bits. So that's that one. Off the multi-poly, we have this guy going on. This is one of my own. Kind of a swirly patty thing. Coming off the Op 6 is this kind of wah-wah kind of weird talky thing. We get down low, it quacks like a duck. And of course, it's buried in entirely too much reverb. So let's see, touring around, coming off the take 5. Kind of a synth horn patch. That's one of my own. Lots of aftertouch on that. Some filter sweepy stuff on the mod wheel. And I think on this one, if I'm not mistaken, all the effects are internal. I'm not using any external effects on that. So that's straight off the take 5 without anything else going on. Polybrute's doing this guy. Kind of a lead pad. And it's got the Morphe thing going on, which brings in that warble and turns up the reverb and delay. So that's it for the hardware stuff. Moving into the synthy pattern things off of the coming out of software. Let's turn some things off. First, hit play. We got a bass here, which is my oh, let's see, that is my own homebrew arpeggiator drift patch thing. And the mic seems really hot tonight. Let's back that off a bit. Not sure if it is or not, but it just seems that way. So we got that going on. Then we've got this pad. This is also made with drift in Ableton Live. And it's just doing paddy things, long and slow. And then we've got the arpeggiator thing also made in drift that we talked about a week or two ago. So that's what's in the jam for the night. And then the percussion is coming off a session percussionist again. One of my little things. So let's see. Let's bring the chat back in and go back to. I'll go to that. Let's see. County Fair. Welcome. Good to see you. Excuse me. So that was what's in the jam tonight. So a few things to talk about. Top thing to let you know: no stream next week. I will not be around, so no stream next week. I may, if I have time, throw something up to Premiere on Monday, but I won't be here to sit in with it. So we'll see what happens if I have time. Also, tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, I will be dropping a new experiment on the Tube of Views. It's about a 35-minute long piece, and it's a drone, so it'll be coming up on YouTube, on the YouTube channel only. I don't have enough chutzpah to upload it to BANDCAMP. So yeah, it's not the one that I've been talking about releasing. So tomorrow morning is a drone piece. It'll come in. It should hit 7:30 Eastern Time, provided everything works correctly on YouTube, and I don't run into any trouble on YouTube. So this one's kind of an experiment to see if certain things happen, and if they do happen or don't happen, I'll hop on live and with an explainer. We'll see where that goes. And then on January 20th, if I can make it work, I will be releasing another new track that will be on BANDCAMP. So 2 new songs coming up in the next few days. So anyway, that's that. Let's see. And so the impetus for the song that's coming out tomorrow has to do a little bit with an issue that Animotion Music ran into, where a segment of one of her recent live stream was flagged for copyright, and all it was her holding a drone in F for some period of time. So not sure what that's all about. We shall see. So anyway, so we'll see what happens. That's the experiment tomorrow. I want to see if 35 minutes of drone in F wakes up the checker. We'll see what happens. It'll be an interesting experiment. And I've been chatting with some copyright legal types about this. So we'll see. Yeah, piracy, right? Cool. So you have everything. You have the stuff edited already. I guess it wasn't a lot mixing to do with the interface being stereo, just being the live mix from yesterday. That should be interesting. So now, if it's coming up, this weekend, I will be well, I'll be away. I'm heading out Saturday morning and won't be back until the following sometime. Oh, the one from last month. Okay. Okay, cool. I was gonna say there's not a lot of mixing to do from yesterday. Which is gonna make me actually jump things. Well, no, we'll go ahead and go in order and I'll come back. So one of the things that another thing that kind of I saw on the tube of views, we will well, it's all on YouTube, and some people are starting to post what I initially thought were some really kind of weird off-base comparison videos, or are talking about making them. Somebody was planning on making a Take 5 versus multi-poly, or TE-05 versus multi-poly, or both. And so I had an initial kind of knee-jerk reaction that this kind of thing is like comparing apples to spaghetti. And so that was my knee-jerk reaction. It's like we've got two completely different kind of synths, and how can you really do a comparison between those two and have it make a lot of sense? But in thinking about it a little bit, I'm thinking that and I wrote some stuff down here. Whoops, and I just closed the screen. That was dumb. Morning, Cloudface. Welcome. Good to see you. Or afternoon or evening. Video is way behind the chat. Okay. So these kind of dissimilar comparisons actually I think can be a good tool for a number of things. One, looking at different ways to, well, thank you, Craig, to generate yourself some creative ideas by looking at the differences in the way things work, and get some interesting perspectives on workflows and things like that. So the idea then is you find what are the parallels and what are the connections between the two seemingly unrelated things, and so look beyond the superficial differences, identify underlying patterns, principles, and functionalities that connect these seemingly disparate things. So for that purpose, the idea of comparing the Take 5 and the multi-poly, for instance, or as we were discussing on Discord earlier, the Mod Wave and the Cobalt 8 from Modal actually are or could be some fairly interesting comparisons. So I'm not going to do that comparison tonight. I'm not set up for it. Didn't have time to prepare to do that. But I think something like a Take 5 and a multi-poly, there are points to compare beyond the analog versus virtual analog kind of thing. What else is how do the workflows vary? Like need quick reaction, and something that I found a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago. I think that as far as a live performance synthesizer, a Take 5 is a Take 5 is a better performance instrument in some ways than the multi-poly, especially if you are in a situation where you're trying to create new sounds on the fly during the performance. That's much faster and much easier on Take 5 than it is on the multi-poly back there. Because you're having the multi-poly, you're having to dive. Even though most things are on the front panel, you still have to jump around through hoops to figure out where you are with so many different layers in the Take 5. Or I'm sorry, in the multi-poly. Take 5, it's two oscillators are on the front there. and a filter. And the multi-poly is really deep. I mean, there's four complete synthesizers in there compared to one, and each one of those synthesizers has 4 oscillators and 2 filters, and a stack of LFOs and envelopes, and so you can build these incredibly deep, complex sounds. But it's not the kind of thing that someone says, okay, we're going to do a jam at 82 beats per minute in A minor now. It's not that kind of instrument. Whereas Take 5 or a Cobalt 5 or a Cobalt 8, something like that, or even a Polybrute, if you feel like if you drag something that big around, you can come up with those kind of things pretty quickly. So that is the first level of comparison. And so I will probably do a deeper dive as I do the deeper dives into the multi-poly itself. I will, at the same time as I'm doing those, compare those functions to other synthesizers, either that I have or that I'm aware of. So that's so my notes got all thrown out the window when it hit me about the the concept of look for those differences and see how those differences turn into strengths between the two and between the two synthesizers. So should be interesting, and I look forward to seeing the other fellas comparisons. It's Random Yuki who was talking about it. He's got his TE-05 back finally working. He got one. It was defective, and then he got a second one. It was also defective. So the third one that he received seems to be the charm, and he's going to do this comparison with the TE-05 and the multi-poly. He doesn't. Can't remember if he's got a Take 5 yet or not. So anyway, those are that. So yeah, not a whole lot more to talk about this evening. Asaph, welcome. Good to see you. We're probably halfway through the talkie section. It's gonna be a short one tonight. I'm tired and I've got early morning tomorrow. So of course I always say that, and then we go 2.5 hours. But I think we might actually keep it short tonight. So anyway, last topic, and it's not really a big deal. Just something I've been talking about. And I'm on my continual. I'm on a continual mission to streamline things here, move some things around, get things so that they are conducive to making music. I mean, not that I'm not making music, obviously, but I just want to. I find I've got to reach around too much. There's also stuff sitting here that frankly just doesn't do anything, and I would rather that I probably move some of that out. I would rather have it be somewhere where someone's going to use it. So I had the Cobalt 5S and the other Modal synths here were on the bubble. But yesterday I took the Cobalt 5S over to Uncle Chrome's place for the monthly jam and had a blast with it. So I'm guessing it's going to stay. It's a reasonably good one for making sounds quickly on the fly. It's not as good as the 8-voice version because the controls are a bit more limited, and there's more shift stuff going on, and it's a little hard when it's darkish, and you can't. All that text is. Let's do it this side. This text is really small. I mean, you can see it compared to my finger there, and so reading that in a subdued light situation is a little hard. It does do a great job, and the fun thing with it, with that particular situation, is that I powered the thing off of a Chromebook that I was running the app on, so I didn't have any I didn't have any power need. There was none of that going on, but just the power. The power came from this aging, oldest Chromebook in the house here. You know, this thing is, I don't know, it's many years old, and well, that's interesting. Hey, wow. That's really weird. Oh, it's upside down. Oh, you can tell the kind of day it's been around here today. So I'm sitting here looking at this like, Luke, I'm sitting here looking at this like, it's backwards. Why is it backwards? Why is the camera flipped? But that's not, that stuff's not backwards. You know, it's like, oh my goodness. So, but so I was able to run the control app on this. And and power the Cobalt from it, and it was an interesting experiment that this really old stupid little laptop is fine. Yeah, the rest of the studio is upside down. I'm hanging. Anyway, so I mean, this aging Chromebook, it'll run itself and the Cobalt for like 5 hours, and it's ancient. So anyway, it was a fun experiment, and it worked out well. Asaph, yes, I do like the sound. I like the sound of the Cobalt a lot. What I don't like about the things I don't like about the 5S, the control layout and the stacking of all the stuff is a little harder. It's harder to use than the full size Cobalt 8, and because the control layout's not as good. The sound is the same, except there's only 5 voices instead of 8. The other thing that I don't like about the 5S is the mini keys on the 5S are horrible. I mean, it's got aftertouch, but the keys they're just bad. The keys, Arturia's mini keys are 1,000 times better, and then of course the mini keys, the True Touch mini keys on the Hydra synth they're the most amazing mini keys I've ever touched, but these are pretty terrible. I won't say they're the worst. I've played with some stuff with mini keys that were terrible, and it's playable, Asaph. I mean, it's I'm not going to say that you can't play the thing. I mean, it's not like playing an old Casio or hey, welcome Lamar. It's not like playing an old Casio or an old toy Yamaha or something like that. It's better than that, but it's not as good as an Arturia keypad. But the things on right now, the things through the end of the month, the things on sale most places for about $300 US. They're out of stock most everywhere, but you can at least get your order in, so you can pick one up for $300, and it sounds fantastic. It's a great sounding synth. Marilyn, good evening, welcome. And so the which actually that does segue to something that we saw today. There was a demo today on the interwebs of Lamont. Welcome, good to see you. They're Asaph. They're completely different animals. That's the thing. They are the Cobalt and the Hydra synth. They're just completely different. I personally don't really like the workflow on the Hydrasynth, and that's kind of a strange thing for me to say, because the workflow on the Hydrasynth is actually very similar to some of the Ensoniq synths, but I've got to a point where I don't like that workflow so much anymore as I did. So there's that. And it's just a personal thing, And honestly, I'm really not considering any new toys. But we saw a great demo today online of the new Carbon 8, and my like button was greasy. Okay. Alrighty then. Thank you for cleaning that off for me. I appreciate that. So my first impression of the Carbon 8 is hasn't changed with the demo. That actually changed a little bit, but my first impression of the Carbon 8 was that it is very harsh. It's very metallic sounding, mostly. It is capable of, apparently, or actually it's capable of some lovely sound. But I think between, and Luke just mentions he's saving his money for a multi-poly rack unit if they ever come out with it. So between the two, and we discussed this earlier too, but between the two, I'd buy a multi-poly. I think. So Asaph, it did sound hardcore metallic. A little later in the demo, he got into some really gorgeous sounds, though. Just gorgeous. And they were, I'm not going to say they were mellow or round or anything like that, but they were gorgeous. They were very subtle. They were very nuanced. So, with the right, spending the right amount of time and putting the energy into it, it's a very capable synth. I will say, just comparing, I'll make some assumptions that it has the same build as a Cobalt 8 or Argon 8. I'm going to say that it is probably better built, or feels better built. The key bed is certainly better than what's on the multi-poly. Although I have some ideas about ways to improve those key beds now. They will void the warranty, but I think they can be made to be those Korg R&D keyboards can be made better, more playable. I do know fuzzy. They were fuzzy and warm and creamy and yes, Paul, moist. But they weren't oozing. They had a nice. Some of the sounds that he had done in there had a really nice sound, and the Carbon 8 sounds very versatile. If I were going to buy a modal synth, though, my taste. And this is me. Requiem, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you. For my taste and for the kind of things that I like to do, I would probably grab a Cobalt 8. My feet. You want to see my feet? My feet are in my shoes. I can't bend that far. There they are, their feet in shoes, socks on. you know what I do for clicks and likes. My gosh. Is Wabbit here? Oh my gosh. And you know, well, so, and that's the other thing. I'm happy that Modal is still going. And I commented earlier, swear today, that it was good to see. I hadn't looked in the last week or so. Yeah, exactly. Last couple of weeks. But their website is back up, which is good to see. They had been, you know, coming back soon for months. You don't want to see my feet, and we'll just leave it at that. I don't even like to see my feet. They are not pleasant things, but they do hold me up and let me move out and move me around. So, unlike there's a whole line about my head being there to move me around, and I got to call out Jeff, who's you know, working off in the corner. He's trying to one up me on the lips, you know. You know, so these, you know, but these are the lips. Although I have to admit, the ones that Jeff got were pretty cool looking. If you didn't catch his stream last night, I think that's where they were. It was either in the stream or in the little stream he did later, testing some things he did with the Recursion Studio from Entropy and Sons. One of the two of me had this new lip balloon in. So anyway, so you know, I'm back to the quick convo about so I was, like I said, I was going to think about getting rid of the Cobalt 5S and the little Sculpt and the Craft Synth, but I think I'm definitely going to keep those. Which, you know, again, I'm trying to streamline stuff here, and I can't seem to find things to let go. But you know, the things that are going to go, I've got, you know, mixers and PA stuff that's never going to get used. So that stuff I'm going to get out of the place. But they're not coming. You know, the only part of that that's in the studio is the Yamaha mixer that's sitting on the side on the floor. I'm waffling on whether I'm going to keep the Pro 800 or not. And then, another thing that, you know, yesterday I finally heard the little Behringer Crave in person. And man, I'll tell you, that thing sounds good. That thing sounds really good. You know, I had sworn to Real Feet Are Blue. Jeez. I had sworn that, you know, there's no modular, no Euro rack, no you know, none of that kind of stuff is gonna enter this house. But I'll tell you, that Crave sounds pretty darn good. You know, the little semi-mod, and draw a face. Where is Simon here? Are we doing Simon Says here? Wait a minute. This is as close as you're going to get to a face on my stuff. I'll take the lips and put them here in my lap. And I'll go to, let's see, we'll come up here. And you know, again, what I do for clicks. SOR says. Oh my. Okay. Anyway, enough of that silliness. You guys, pay attention. Pay attention. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I said to my wife last night. I'm like, I said none of this this stuff, but for 169 bucks, Wabbit, good to see you. Paying attention. The Crave sounded really good, and for 169 bucks, it's hard to not buy. And then what are they, the Edge and the the three that are modeled right on the Moogs. They're really attractive, not expensive. But then I need patch cables. So I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that hip thruster. No, you know what I'm gonna do? Rabbit's off to order some lips. You guys, I don't know about you guys. I do not know. I do not know. Crave is, the Crave looked fun, Paul, and he had sent me an email today saying, in the email chain today saying if I want to play with it next time. This time. So maybe I'll fool with it a little bit next month. God, I don't know, Wagyu. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Oh goodness. All right. Well, since this has gone straight off the rails now. As I said, going to be a short one tonight. So, hey, Kent Spong, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Catching me as I'm winding down. But so I think you people. Off the rest seems normal to you. I was trying to have a nice, respectable stream here, Will, good to see you. Yeah, the usual craziness, Will. Everything goes along good for a while, and then, all kinds of craziness happens. We're talking about bunny dolls. So I'll go ahead and ask Lamar. Do you want one of those inflatable, or do you want do you want one that comes full size? You just unfold it out of the package. No, I'm not. Both. Talsafi, help me. Oh, you get your stuff. Jeff, what time are you going on? I'll be sure I'm out of the way. And we can all go over and raid Jeff's stream next. Seriously, that said, Jeff, what time are you planning to go live? If it's is it going to be 9 o'clock, or is it going to be 9:30? I don't know. You can do whatever time you want. I've run out of things to talk about, and so I'm going to play music, guys. Thank you for hanging, and maybe I'll come back after to play a little more music or not. We shall see. No, 9:30 is great, Jeff. I will be clear by then for sure. Perfect. So guys and gals, thanks for coming. More music is coming up now. As soon as I finish unbreaking things. I did forget to tell you what key we're in tonight, by the way, and it's not D Dorian, it's A minor tonight, although it does sound D-centered, but no, it is definitely A minor tonight.